Welcome, 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 trivalent beings of spirit, mind, and body. Time for the Ask Doc Alkebulanese Solution Show, sponsored by Prometheus Reborn Universal Foundation, also known as Proof. Its mission is to spread the trivalent understanding noetics, featuring stand-up philosophy that includes anthropology, psychology, biology, metaphysics, medicine, psychodrama, comedy, and music through a genre called edutainment, educating while entertaining, coined by KRS-One. The host of this wonderful show is Dr. Kwaku L. Carlisle Woods, RN, MD, MED-D1, and myself, co-host, Dr. Hamida Rockman Woods, MED, PhD, MED-D2.
Okay.
Yes, and I have the PH.
I have the M.
We both have D, and we like to share. That's why we're called
Doc².
The title of the day's show is Pointing Out the Wise.
Wow, that went so smooth.
Yes,
that went so well. Okay, now let me tell everybody, we got a show here that was kind of cobbled together because we had a really, really nice show. And then line 44.5 got indicted.
Woo!
Again.
Woo!
Number 4.
Woo! Woo!
He got one indictment for every year that he was president.
Wow, honey, that's deep.
He might get one extra indictment that we ain't gonna talk about, but 98 pages of truth leads him to have a really, really hard time staying out of steel. And let me tell you why. The name of this particular show is exactly that, Pointing Out the Wise. First, I want to stay away from the whys and go to the who. Who is this indictment all about? Well, let's see. Line 44.5, we all know that. The guy who is not a whole person, so he can't be a whole president, so he can't be the 45th, he's 44.5. But we also got Rudy, Jenna Ellis, John Eastman, Dale Clark, Ken Cheeseborough, Mark Meadows, Sidney Powell, Misty Hampton, who's head of the Georgia Republican Party. We got a whole bunch of other folks that are down here for lots of crimes, all having to do with voting, both in Georgia and several other places. 13 counts against line 44.5. 41 counts of conspiracy to impersonate public officials, false statements, intimidation, stolen data. Fonnie Willis is not playing, y'all. This RICO, Racketeering, Influence, and Corrupt Organization Act, she ain't playing, and I told you this weeks ago. I told you weeks ago that this was going to be the main thing that he worries about, because him getting set up to be president again won't undo this at all. But he's got to deal with these state charges totally, completely different than he would with anything Jack Smith is doing. And unfortunately, there's one additional Georgia on his mind problem.
Georgia.
Okay. If he is convicted, and I guarantee you he will be, there is no way that him being president can remove that conviction. And in addition to which, there is no way that he can get pardoned, released, or paroled at all. The governor of Georgia, unlike most governors, The governor of the state of Georgia cannot free him. They got a clemency board that does that.
They can't pardon him.
Right. They cannot pardon him. They can't give him parole. Georgia's got a strange little law that even if you do get paroled for a crime in Georgia, you got to at least do 5 years. So there's no way line 44.5 is going to get away from doing prison. Oh,
That would fit so well with August the 5th, 2023, the number 5.
Ooh.
It's my birthday, y'all.
That's her birthday. And of course, everybody knows what happened down in Alabama on her birthday. I'm still doing it. I'm still doing it. Okay, the Hip Hop Trio Plus, we're going to make up a new song about Huntsville. Not Huntsville, Montgomery.
Montgomery,
Alabama.
Bra, yeah.
Yes, we are.
And I want to thank everybody again that came out to celebrate my birthday, especially the Kendos.
Yes.
I've already thanked everybody. I think I just wanted to make sure that I show my appreciation. Love y'all.
Yeah, it was wonderful, fantastic, and they was doing great things down in Alabama.
Yes, they were.
On that
Same
birthday.
time.
Yes, indeed. We got some new songs that we're going to be doing, Hostage Against One, but we have a whole new concept that we want to introduce to you. This concept was kind of triggered by a video that we saw on what's Martin's first name? Describing our boy on Howard television station that we watch his news.
Roland. Yeah.
Roland Martin.
Yeah.
We were watching Roland, and Roland gave us, one of his guests gave us the idea that we need to start to become very, very conscious of a type of individual that is destroying not just our country, but the whole concept of democracy. This was Frank LaRose. Frank LaRose, who's the Secretary of State of Ohio, is the guy who basically set out this supermajority thing that we voted down week before last.
He created the petition.
He was the one who created this, trying to get rid of democracy where the majority rules. No. He don't want the majority rules. He wants a super majority to rule so that the majority cannot change any of the things that he's setting up. And these are all Republicans who subvert the will of the people, attempting to overturn not just the 2020 election results, but all elections. These we call agents against democracy. A new designation that focuses on people whose actions, deeds, and hypocrisy shines a negative illumination on them, their goals, and desires. All of those who railed against our 2020 elections with not one documented case of fraud or failure of the system substantial enough to cause error of those elected, that these people, agents against democracy, not only limit those that follow them, but makes limitations the goal of all who are directed by them. Now, Fannie Willis is trying to get most of these suckers down in Georgia in the RICO prosecution by underlying predicate acts in the conspiracy. Predicate acts are acts that further the conspiracy, and you only need 2 to convict. Fannie has about 25 or 30. She has up to 70, and she only needs 2. Again, the very first agent against democracy is Ohio Secretary of State Frank LaRose who engineered the August Issue 1 petition that was soundly defeated by the citizens of Ohio.
Yes, and we need to see his face.
Yeah, that issue was to address the loss of numerical advantage the Republican Party has and will continue to suffer from. The Republican Party will not have a numerical advantage ever again. As old party leaders like Mitch McConnell, who stopped talking for about half a minute while casting distressed glances all around him on July 26th at a press conference. He is aged and continuing to age and will die off very soon. And he's not being replaced by younger, more able politicians.
No.
And they realize that. There aren't any young Republicans. They're all old pink men for the most part. Frank LaRose is dishonored by being the first AAD, Agent Against Democracy.
Yes.
Odd. That's how you pronounce it. Odd. And they are very odd. And you pronounce them Agents Against Democracy if you are one of those who are aware. Toi. Those who are aware. Toi. No, odd people, Agents Against Democracy. Now, to be hyphenated, and that's what he is, Frank LaRose's name should always have a hyphen in front of it and a hyphen behind it. And every time you see his name from now on, he will have a hyphen in front of it and a hyphen behind it. Literally, you will have lines before and after your name. Think about that. You got lines, lies, before and after your name. They indicate that you deal in deception. Frank LaRose,
Yes.
was trying to get Ohio citizens to give up the Democratic majority rules mechanism for a new supermajority system that would make any change to their present system need more than 60% of the voters. They ultimately admitted it was about Roe v. Wade decisions, but in reality it was about so much more.
Yes, it was.
It was about taxes, wages, education, health, safety, and we know about these railroad spills that have been plaguing us, Palestine.
Yeah.
Toxic chemicals, air quality, transportation, all of these changes would require 60% of voters to agree, which means it's going to be much, 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 much harder to do anything about taxes, wages, education, health, safety, chemicals, transportation, and air quality. Anything. That's why they are hyphenated. To be hyphenated is to indicate that you have been exposed as someone who tries to normalize the steps, rules, and regulations of oppression. This is oppression. And look at that girl right there. Now, you will never see her name unhyphenated ever again on our show. It should be hyphen Margaret Trader Green. Hyphen. Okay. The hyphenated person tried to make wrong seem questionable. They make wrong things that we know are wrong, things that we know are immoral, things that we know are bad, things that we know are disabling, things that we know are shameful. They try to put a question mark there. Huh? Is that really bad? Is that really so awful? Yeah! Is the answer.
Yes.
They should all be exposed. All agents against democracy. Odds. They should all be fought. They should all be defeated. They should all be eliminated for this democracy to exist. Democracy is not a free ride. You have to form your union with others who are democratic minded. You have to specify the operations of your democracy. And you have to constantly monitor its leaders and their directions. But more importantly, you have to discover, expose, and eliminate AADs, ads, wherever and whenever they are found.
Agents against democracy.
Agents against democracy. They normalize oppression and make wrong seem questionable. That's them. And to help with their elimination, we found a tool. While watching the Midas Touch Legal AF show on YouTube starring Michael Popak, he revealed that there is a yet-to-be-published article. It's the work of right-wing constitutional scholars. They produced a 127-page law review article. These are from the Federalist Society. William Bard, University of Chicago Law School, and Michael Stokes Paulson, University of St. Thomas School of Law, posted an article entitled The Sweep and Force of Section 3. And they are basically talking about the 14th Amendment, which forbids holding office by former office holders who participated in insurrection or rebellion. They produce an academic analysis for law review to apply to all agents against democracy, and especially one named Line 44.5.
Yes.
The dictates of the 14th Amendment to the Constitution, especially Section 3, which basically says those that participate in an insurrection or rebellion shall not be eligible to hold any public office. Any public office. It's especially Section 3 that gives details regarding those that provide aid and comfort to the insurrectionists. This may be physical, emotional, psychological, or spiritual aid and assistance. Not just giving insurrectionists money, guns, bombs, or armor, but supplying them with information, diagrams, or maps, psychological or political support, as well as cultural media support by backing insurrectionists' lies and misdirections, while giving credibility to their illogically unreasoned arguments. All the Republicans questioned Joey B's presidency and election, or at least most of them, but nobody has a reason, a logical, legal reason why they are questioning. None of them have, though they have been through 70 some odd different legal attempts to document one, and they have been turned away every day. To be clear, this is not a left-wing, democratic, liberal, Alkebulanese, or woke journalism that these two men are putting together. This is Federalist Society, hard Line 44.5 supporters. These two were law professors that wrote that the original intent of the 14th Amendment makes Line 44.5 and all agents against democracy ineligible to hold government office. This amendment was created after the Civil War to prevent rebellion-oriented agents against democracy individuals from holding government offices. These are the people that decided they did not want to listen to our Constitution. They didn't want to make pictures of the words that this document was describing, because those pictures would describe just about every Republican politician who decided to question the 2020 election. It would describe every Republican politician who questioned whether or not Line 44.5 was actually defeated by Joey B. It would make all of them give up their offices because they, by the 14th Amendment, have no right to hold any public office at any level in the United States of America. They didn't listen. They don't want to learn. And in most instances, they are not only ignorant, they're downright stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Ignorant, not understanding. Stupid, not wanting to understand. That's dash Margaret Trader Green dash. And again, almost all of the right-wing Republicans who challenged the election. You're giving aid and comfort to insurrectionists. And that makes you ineligible to hold any office at any level in the United States of America. They don't listen because they don't want to see the excellence that they are not part of. Our ancestors created most of that excellence. And that is why all over this planet, the young of any country, any race, any culture, all imitate us. They imitate Alkebulanese Americans. They want to dress like us, dance like us, talk like us, walk like us, screw like us, have our children. Yeah, all of that and more. Because one of the blessings of slavery, the title of one of my books, is that as a result of being enslaved, our ancestors turned into artists. Music artists, dance artists, kitchen artists, food artists, work artists. We did everything at a higher level of expertise than had ever been done before, because we were trained that way. As a child, I was trained you got to be twice as smart to get half as much money as a pink person. All of us were.
Yes.
That's because our artist ancestors sent that message down. Mm-hmm. Sending that message down meant that they had to pay a price. Every artist has to pay a price.
Yes.
For their art. That price is usually very personal, and it is usually very, very powerful. We got a song that by the Hip Hop Trio Plus. It kind of talks about this. And it is appropriately called The Artist Pays the Price. Listen to this. Okay.
The artist pays a price, so you don't have to pay. If only you would listen to what he has to say. There are songs from wisdom, there are songs from hating, there are songs from loving, and there are songs from Satan. There are songs from lust, there are songs from pain. Some songs were done by children men, some are men insane. Move children, groove on the line. One time, move children to the right side. Advance children to the light. We're looking good. Oh, advance children to the light. Some songs will show you which way to go. If only you would listen.
Listen up.
There are songs will turn you on, show you you how much is missing. Songs we're meant to listen to, be checking out the best. Good songs were sent to man from God to help us pass this test. Life is for learning, and the purpose is joining up with the Lord. 1,000 bodies needed, but your soul is never destroyed. Your love, darling, this is all you require. And all you want is a little understanding. Today, see, something strong can prophesy. Warning from the master. Make your soul listen to him to make you learn it faster. The devil has a special plan to make hot songs for sinners. Then God will turn it around, make good songs for winners. Hey, you know some songs can corrupt your flesh to dust. The only song that you can live are songs that you can trust. The artist pays the price. So you don't have to.
Ooh.
Artist pays the price
All the time.
every day. Okay. The article written by these two Federalist Society hard line 44.5 voters. The article entitled The Sweep and Force of Section 3 was written, again by William Bard and Michael Stokes Paulson, to be published in the summary of the University of Pennsylvania Law Review.
And it was discussed on Midas Touch.
Yes.
Yes.
The amendment forbids holding office by former office holders who then participate in erection or rebellion. Okay. Because of a range of misperceptions, Section 3 the full legal consequences have not been appreciated or enforced. This article that these two young men wrote corrects those mistakes by setting forth the full sweep and force of Section 3. It goes on in the abstract of the article to explain the 4 points that compose their assertion/argument. As in all abstracts, the point is to highlight all of the points, detractions, and results of an article, as well as explaining how the information in the article can be utilized. The 4 points they make are, number 1, Section 3 remains an enforceable part of the U.S. Constitution, not limited to the Civil War and not effectively repealed by 19th century amnesty legislation. This was not repealed by the amnesty legislation that they passed in 1892. Number 2, Section 3 is self-executing, operating as an immediate disqualification from office. It can and should be enforced by every official that judges qualification for office, state or federal.
All right, we have a couple of people who have on with
Okay.
us. Carla, hi
Carla.
family, back to you.
Matthew,
And
get down. Hey, hey.
You too, Matt. You.
Yes, indeed. We will,
God bless you as well.
Absolutely.
And your wonderful family.
by all means, by whatever means, by any means. Carla, Carla, Carla. I like it. The person whose name I cannot remember. Okay. Hey, family. She is most definitely family. Now, let's go back to the abstract of the article. The third point, to the extent of any conflict with prior constitutional rules, Section 3 repeals, supersedes, or satisfies them.
Gonna give a holler out to that is Kenya right there.
Yeah.
Darren Jones.
KK.
She knows why I'm giggling about that.
Uh-huh.
We also want to let everybody know who's watching.
Good to see you as well.
to share this podcast on
with at
YouTube
least 10 people.
or Facebook to at least 10 people.
Yes,
Exactly.
do that too for us, you all. Thank
Please.
you and ahead of time. Thank
Absolutely.
you very
We
much.
want to blow the
That's it.
Ask Doc podcast up, y'all. Everybody needs to hear this.
Whoa, whoa,
All
whoa!
right now,
Yeah, yeah.
live, y'all. You
That is.
know it.
Now, back to the last one of Section 3. This is the fourth point that they cover. Section 3 covers a wide range of conduct against the authority of the constitutional order. Listen to this. Section 3 covers a wide range of conduct against the authority of the constitutional order. AADs, Agents Against Democracy. Yeah, that is the authority of the constitutional order. Our Constitution is a democratic constitution. Anybody who is against that should never hold office. They are agents against democracy. Again, the fourth point that they bring up, Section 3 covers a wide range of conduct against the authority of the constitutional order, including many instances of indirect participation or support, as in aid or comfort to the enemy, aid or comfort to insurrectionists, aid or comfort. What do you think Margaret Trader Green dash Margaret Trader Green dash hyphen. What do you think she was doing when she went to the jail where all of these insurrectionists were at and said she wanted to give them legal services? That's aid and comfort to insurrectionists. Mm-hmm. She is disqualified from being a congressperson.
Hey, Doc, just want to let everybody know there's a number on the screen if anybody wants to call in and chime in on what we're talking about on today's show.
Yeah.
Here, by all means. There's a number right there.
You can also leave a message or comment on YouTube or Facebook.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We'll respond to any and every one.
The voice you're hearing is the producer, Mick Beats.
That's who he is.
Where'd I get Nick from? Mick Beats.
I don't know, but let's go on. Okay. The instances of indirect participation or support as aid or comfort, it covers a broad range of former officers, and specifically it disqualifies line 44.5 and potentially many, many others. All the fake electors, all the Congress and Senate Republicans who backed line 44.5 and objected to Joey B's election without any proof of anything. That's aid and comfort to insurrectionists. Governors and supporters of the Stop the Steal campaign, aid and comfort to insurrectionists. Attempt to overthrow the 2020 presidential election, aid and comfort to insurrectionists. They are ineligible from holding office according to the 14th Amendment, Section 3 of the Constitution of the United States of America. How does this affect you? Democracy is not a given. You just can't set it up and let it go. You need to constantly be on the watch for forces whose job it is to destroy the democracy. Democracy cannot succeed unless those who express their choice are prepared to choose wisely. The real safeguard of democracy, therefore, is education. Notice he didn't say training. Training is what our systems are set up for now. Education means you are taught you. You are taught what you are, who you are, where you are, and when you are, so that you can determine why you are. That is education, and that is the firmest foundation of any democracy. The people have to become educated. That's why democracies were never in vogue in Europe. There was no democracy in Europe other than the one that they sort of kind of tried to set up in Greece. But it really wasn't a democracy because they had slaves who weren't citizens. They had others who were of lower class and were not allowed to vote. So whatever type of democracy they had, it wasn't what we would call a democracy. And that's primarily because of their lack of education. We got
a
somebody
call
caller?
coming in.
Okay.
Talk to us.
Talk to us, caller. You got a question for the docs?
Yes, Dr. Wood, how are you?
Oh, greetings, Pooying. We're so happy to hear your voice.
How are you? How are you?
I am doing much better now that I'm hearing you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Wood.
Oh,
Yeah,
wait. For everybody that's listening, the person on the other end of the line, the caller, is Annie Pooying.
Yes.
She is the publisher of the Erie Chinese Journal and largest circulation Chinese newspaper outside of China. She is a cultural icon. She is one of our students, and she's my friend. I like her.
I love you too, both of you.
Hey,
Thank
Pooh
you,
Ying,
Pooh.
this
You
is
too.
Mick. This is
You
Mick
too.
Tate 2 on the line too.
Yes.
Mick, hey, how you doing, Pooh Ying?
Good, how are you? Yeah, I really like asking you, Dr. Wood, you
Okay,
know?
ask
being
the
a
question.
Professional, mental, and like a physically. After COVID-19, and I saw that a lot of the people, they, mentally have something problem.
Right.
And I recently I have a couple of friends, the children, all around the 25, 27,
Right.
they are all
Suicidal.
Wow.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, we're showing the Erie Chinese Journal up on our screen.
Oh, cool. Our producer is on it, y'all.
And that's me and you down
Yeah,
there.
that's you and I.
Right
and,
there.
And Humble is Miles is also there, and
Yep, he's
that-
holding Pooying. Is
Yes.
that Pooying you got his
no,
name in?
that's another person. I remember.
Okay, that's
who
something I
she is.
remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now you were talking about people who had ended up getting COVID, who had children that was getting somewhat suicidal. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Of course, they all have a job.
Let me
The
give
kids,
you.
they don't have a job.
Let me give you 2 insights into this. Unfortunately, one of the major things that COVID caused was a big problem psychologically in almost every country that it affected, primarily because the pandemic made it somewhat of a challenge. That's Pooh right there. That's Pooh right there. It made it a challenge to be around other people. And as that became more and more of a challenge, that became somewhat of a discomfort and a disability to many, many people. Now, which people am I talking about? Well, these are primarily the people to whom relationships, personal contact relationships, are very, very important. Who is that? Young people, teenagers, young adults, those who are 25 to 35. They are going to be losing a whole bunch of contact with people that they have built their lives around. That's problem number 1. Problem number 2, dead people.
What people?
Hold on, dead people.
Okay.
Now, let me explain. During COVID, during the pandemic, Lots and lots of people died. And these people that died did not have a normal funeral. They did not have their families come together and commiserate and mourn them. They did not have a funeral service with a bunch of their friends and relatives gathering to mourn them. They did not have the normal burial practices where a group of people come to the place of your final resting and commiserate and support each other during this time. None of that happened during COVID. And as a result of none of those three emotionally supportive things happened, a whole lot of people got depressed and thought about, if they actually didn't, committing suicide. There were, I would like to say, tens of thousands of people in this country like that, but I think I'm undercounting it. It's probably closer to hundreds of thousands of people who, because they didn't get the same socialization and contact with people that they were used to, they didn't get the chance to mourn those that they lost, and they didn't get the type of support that most people get from friends and families when they lose someone. These three things are working on all Americans had their greatest effect on those Americans from about 18 to 35. Does that make any sense? That's Pooh.
Nice picture.
But Dr. Wood,
yes.
I just wondering, you too is educational, You're teaching the people.
Yes,
Even
ma'am.
I'm your student, right?
Yes, ma'am.
I just wondering, if someone suicide, the whole family is sickness, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
The whole family, feel so sick.
Yes. If one member of the family commits suicide, the whole family has an illness, a psychological, emotional illness. They will all wonder what role they played in his suicide. They will all wonder what they could have done to stop them from committing suicide. They will all wonder if there are any more people that are going to do the same. And these worries are not any worry that anyone else can just take off of you. You got to go through those processes and come up to some understanding, generally from support of other members of the family. But that's been kind of hard to, again, recruit when the government's saying, no, we don't want y'all within 6 feet of each other, and we don't want y'all to be gathering in any group or crowd.
In addition, not just young people, but people who are used to being around a lot of people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like me.
That affects us. It affects us. It affects me.
Yeah. It did. It affected me too and made me somewhat depressed.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any good idea for the people?
Yes, ma'am. I do. And the three problems I just got through outlining, each has a mechanism that you can use to kind of deal with that. Number one, contact with people. Unfortunately, one of the major problems that we're having and that we've had is, believe it or not, cell phones. Everybody has a smartphone, and everybody is texting and emailing. They're not calling people up and talking to them very often. Instead of texting and emailing. So they
If you
don't.
think of right now, people now communication.
Yes.
They only just use the phone.
Yes. And they need to get to stop using that as much. And number one, call people and talk to them. Number two, go and see people and talk to them. That communication, that human contact is what makes us social animals. Human beings are social animals. All of primates are social animals. Chimpanzees, gorillas, gibbons, they're all social, which means we got to be in touch with each other.
Yes.
And if we're not, something's wrong.
Did you think I'm sorry, Dr. Wood. Did you think of right now? Is it looking like a change? Something?
Yes.
Like a revolution.
Yes.
Yes.
You're absolutely correct. And that kind of points
time for
up
a
the
revolution.
second thing that I was saying. The second thing is that we need to make sure that our health care system is not just about our physical health, which is what our system is set up primarily to deal with. It doesn't do anything about our spiritual health, and it does very, very little about our emotional, mental health. We have a system that doesn't really apply itself to either one of those two things. And it is those two things that are the primary disabling influence that leads to suicide and depression.
Oh, it's a sad, Dr. Wood.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. I will give, Pooh, call me, and I will give you some more.
Okay.
Okay?
And I think it's really good to hear both the voice and, I'm continue
Yes.
study for life.
Thank you so very much.
Yes, thank you, Pooh. Continue to be blessed.
Really. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okie doke.
Shay.
Shay now.
Take care. Call in next time too, please.
Yes, hot dog. Okay, back to the Agents Against Democracy. How does this affect you? Democracy is not a given. Vote, meet and organize, plan your democratic future. Identify and eliminate agents against democracy. Line 44.5.
Okay, we have a question. This is from
Darren Jones.
This is from Kenya.
Uh-huh.
The main complaint on the social media regarding inflation is the rise of the cost of living. What advice do you have for people barely making ends meet at this time?
Okay. Two things. Understand that we don't have bad inflation right now. We don't. We don't have it, and our costs, the prices of everything, has not risen like inflation. The pandemic has knocked out most of the normal finances and money flows of almost every country on this planet. The country that is affected least of that, the United States of America. We got the best, and Joey B's economic program has done that. We are sitting in a wonderful, wonderful spot, and probably the best spot of any country, again, on this planet. We're in the catbird seat.
And there's jobs everywhere.
Yeah, there's jobs everywhere. There's money everywhere. And I would suggest that everybody either take my classes so that you quit using your money like a poor person, and you start using it like a rich person. Unfortunately.
Want to give love to Alicia. She's also
Yes, she
came
is.
up. We send our love back to you as well, and to the rest of the family. Love you.
Absolutely.
Love you.
I just want you to know that you're my wife's favorite Ken. Her favorite niece, nephew type Ken. You are, you the one.
I see. I have to let him do the talking because if I say that, then somebody is going to say what? But yeah,
We use
he
each other
already
like
knows
that.
though.
We use each other like that. Yeah, we do. Okay. Let me finish this thing up. Frank LaRose will be running for Senate in 2024 against Senator Sherrod Brown.
Yes. He's been a great support.
He
Every
has.
time we call him up, we always get a return call from someone that assists him to assist us.
We're supporting Sherrod Brown up one side, down the other. But before that, he's got to get past Matt Dolan, a Republican from Chagrin Falls, and Bernie Moreno, a Republican Cleveland businessman. LaRose hyphen has those two. That's him. He has those two opponents in the Republican primary. What we need to do is to make sure that Mr. Frank LaRose hyphen does not get to be senator. We need to actively eliminate this agent against democracy. Very much like the brothers and sisters down in Alabama. Oh my God. I will never unwatch all the stuff that happened in the Alabama port because it showed Americans how Americans are supposed to act. Americans are supposed to act like everybody in this country is a family member. And that's the way all the brothers and sisters at that dock acted.
They did, and they show so much humanity. They use their bodies and a chair in order to combat the conflict.
The racism and the pain was dealt with by people treating everybody like they were family.
Yes.
Am I my brother's keeper?
That's right.
Yes, I am. Am I my sister's keeper?
They whooped their butts and put them in timeout, y'all.
Yeah.
You saw it.
Yeah,
I hope you did.
everybody, if you didn't, you're the only one. You're the only
Missing
one.
out.
Because I have seen videos from India, from China, from the Philippines, from all over South America. Everybody who's saying yes.
They're so proud of us.
They are. And that's exactly what they said. This sister from India said, we are so proud. We are so very proud of American blacks. They just came together like brothers and sisters.
Yes.
Okay, we got a song.
I just hope much more of that comes together.
Hey,
it will. It's already in the quantum.
It is in the quantum, and in the quantum, it will be manifested.
Continued, yes.
Hopefully not a lot of butt beating, but yeah.
Oh, no, I want butt beating.
Well, if that takes.
I don't want shooting.
That's what
I don't
it
want
takes.
stabbings. I want punches
The way they
in the
did-
face.
Oh, wow. That
I
was
want folding chairs across the head.
Really, I'm thinking I want all the races to come together like brothers and sisters, but that was meant to happen.
Yeah.
That wasn't the point, though.
That
the
was
point
meant to happen.
was, they needed to be taken care of. They
didn't, yes. And that's what happened.
That's it.
They acted like children. What do you do with children? Put them in timeout after you kick their ass.
That's right.
Okay, and that's what happened. And they are now in timeout. Reggie Ray, the chairman.
Yeah, Reggie Ray.
The chairman of the board. We were trying to send him some money. We were trying to send Reggie Ray some money. We wanted to find out what he needed and so forth and so on. His lawyer sent up a email poster saying, don't nobody send me no damn more money. They opened up a
GoFundMe
account, and within 8 hours, he had $250,000.
Yeah, y'all.
Within 8 hours, he ain't charged with nothing. They didn't arrest him or nothing, but he got $250,000 like that. Everybody, all of the Alkebulanese have a fund now that's approaching 2 million from people all over the world.
Yeah. They just want to make sure, just in case they need it.
Yes, indeed. Now, Miles Alexander Keaton Smith, known affectionately here far and wide as Humble G, the Fiddler, did a song with Global Entertainment many years ago. I'm in it somewhere. And it's called Brother's Keeper. Now, yeah, it is. It is. Mick Beats on there too. He does he produced it.
And drummed, right?
Yeah.
Drumming.
I think he put more than that in it.
Okay.
But this song is about how what happened in Alabama shows us we're supposed to act. And it's called Brother's Keeper. Peep this.
That's the promise of America. The idea that we are responsible for ourselves, but that we also rise or fall as one nation. The fundamental belief that I am my brother's keeper. I am my sister's keeper. That's the promise we need to keep. That's the change we need right now.
Yeah. Global entertainment. That's right. Oh sound, baby. Oh sound, baby. Yeah, we got Mick Beats on the 1-2s. What's up, Dougie? Hey. A brothel, I got you. Listen. Yeah, now I'ma need you to bite your tongue and just listen to the truth. I'm trying to penetrate your soul with these rhymes of blues. Picture the day, you're not hating me, I'm not hating you. Back when the old kids could talk to the youth, we gotta humble ourselves to find God in ourselves. The wicked sell, why the true artists stay on the shelf? Ask this question, think we got a little too comfortable. The sins that we commit, we never wanna stop and question them. It's like we wear a blindfold on our eyes. That's an immunity to see wrong in these devilish times. We can't seem to get away from this guilt and shame. We fear knowledge, that's why we still act like slaves. I watch my brothers and sisters walk around with no pride. Now ball your fist up and throw your hand high in the sky. To free the people was part of the plan. That's why they trust me. Put this microphone in my hand. Your brother's keeper.
Brother's keeper.
Yes, I am.
And my sister's keeper.
Yes, I am.
My that one you speak of.
Yes, I am.
That's why they trust me. To put this microphone in my hand. And my sister's keeper.
Yes, I am.
And my brother's keeper.
Yes, I am.
I bet you I can reach ya.
Yes, I can.
I want to see you. That's why I got this mic in my hand.
American sister, tell me how you doing. To my American brothers, keep on moving up in life. And yeah, I know it's stressing you out. You feel you work the block shift to keep food in your mouth. My single mothers trying to pay the rent for the house, and does your man love you? Having them thoughts of doubt, yo, don't stress it. Let the pain ease from your soul. And no, you're never too old to accomplish your goals. To my shorties in the street who never had a home, had to learn at an early age to stand on their own. I pray for you and all the struggle that you go through. That's why I'm here on this track, reaching out to you. Learn to see each other as brothers instead of different races. Stop labeling each other by the color of our faces. To free the people was part of the plan. I won't deceive you, that's why I got this mic in my hand. Your brother's keeper.
Brother's keeper.
Yes, I am.
And my sister's keeper.
Yes, I am.
And my that one you speak of.
Yes, I am.
That's why they trust me. To put this microphone in my hand. And my sister's keeper.
Yes, I am.
And my brother's keeper.
Yes, I am.
I bet you I can reach ya.
Yes, I can.
I want to see you. That's why I got this mic in my hand.
Hey yo, what's up, fam? Yeah, I'm talking to you. They say you all what you eat with just a spiritual food. For the ear, just manifest it. Don't know what I can't get. They call me undereducated, plus I read Revelation. So I'm 10 steps ahead of Satan. This rhyme is food for thought, you can call it meditation. Illustrations of Quad being a false seeker. Great preacher, on the mic is here to teach you. The streets call me pain reliever. Your brother's keeper, keeper. Hey, yeah. Now I'ma need y'all to do something for me. You ready? Yeah. Open your eyes and tune your ears, so you know what you see. I understand what you hear. Your brother's keeper, 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 keeper.
Am I my brother's keeper? Am I my sister's keeper? Am I that one you speak of?
Yes, I am.
That's why they trust me to put this microphone in my hand. Am I my sister's keeper?
Yes, I am.
Am I my brother's keeper?
Yes, I am.
I bet you I can reach ya.
Yes, I can.
I want to see you. That's why I got this mic in my hand.
Global entertainment. Brother's keeper.
Yes. Beautiful.
Okay, y'all.
Yes.
I think that's over.
Doc,
Yes, sir.
I got a question.
Please.
Sure.
Come on with a question, my brother.
What I'm finding is a lot of people, especially young people, are really starting to get disinterested in politics per se.
Yes, sir. I don't blame them at all.
And they're basically saying that, Democratic, Republican,
Yeah.
Democratic, Republican, whatever, it's the same side of it's the same thing, but it's two sides of the same coin.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are your thoughts on that? What can
Oh, my
somebody
God.
who young people, or just anybody who thinks that right now, what can they do? Where can they find a place in all of this?
Okay, that's a very good question, my brother. Unfortunately, the very good answer that it deserves is probably a little radical for most people. Let me explain. I don't like lawyers. I don't like lawyers because they are trained to lie.
Me neither.
In order to be a lawyer, you must be able to take either side of a proposition and argue it like your life depends on it. So right and wrong are two different sides of the same coin that they are trained to deal with. They are trained to deal with right and wrong. They are trained to present either one as viable. They are trained to be able to be on defense or offense at any point. As a result, their morals are not fixed. Their personal and cultural awareness are kind of covered up by their professional obligation. Now, it is not an accident that most of the people who are politicians are lawyers. Most of the people who end up controlling our laws and government are people who have been trained right and wrong are pretty much the same thing, just different sides. And that's what we have right now. I would make it illegal for a lawyer to be a politician. I would make politicians have to be moral people. I would make sure that any politician at the local, state, or federal level have a long moral history of excelling and being focused on the moral principles of democracy and human rights. We don't see that. But again, our political system was created and operated by pink people who have never had these ideas, who have never had a democracy, who have never had a leader who was leading them through their moral rectitude.
And their historical background.
Yeah, we have not had leaders of countries like that. We have not had leaders of political parties like that. And we're not going to get them unless there is some radical reorganization of the structure and functioning of our political system. Now, that being said, we're just about at that point. Give me about maybe another 3-4 years. The Republican Party is going to be gone. The Democratic Party is going to be flailing around. And there are going to be some additional political parties who have to be created.
Still keep up with what's going on in the government.
Yeah.
And make sure you do vote, because if you don't exercise the tools that you do have, then you won't get used to combating it, only complaining.
Let me magnify what my wife just said. The most powerful group of citizens in the United States of America right now are citizens from 18 to 25. Because everybody above that age is pretty much 50-50. Everybody above that age is pretty much half and half. Half Democrats, half Republican. Half liberal, half conservative. Half and half. What makes the majority, what makes them not just a Democratic majority, but a powerful, perhaps revolutionary majority, is that we have 18 to 25 as the most intelligent people that have ever existed coming into their power right now. Right now. At the point where there is such helter-skelter politics going on, as you stated, Mick. Yeah, they don't like this crap. It is up to them to change it. That's their job. That is their responsibility to a degree. That is their purpose.
So I asked, how can somebody like the youth in that age bracket find their place in this political or this illusion of political climate?
They are. You ever heard of the Justins down in Tennessee?
Yeah.
They are.
And other young people are following them.
Oh, you got one in New York. What's her name?
Excuse me.
What's the Hispanic young lady in New York?
Is she? I don't know. You have to give me an image
Okay.
of who you're talking about. I don't remember right now.
She's the cute young chick who just got elected 2 years ago from New York.
ACO.
That's right. That's right. AOC.
AOC. Yeah.
AOC. Her group are young people.
Yeah.
And she has thousands of young 18 to 25-year-olds who are supporting her.
That's right.
And she is getting more and more powerful every year as more and more of them come on board. Yeah. Again, as I said, give them about 4 more years and they will be ready to take over. And they will have both the power and the numbers to do that. And the Republican Party in 4 years, they're gone. They're basically gone right now.
So basically, when I ask how can those people find their place, they basically, you're saying they have to create their space.
They have to create that space, and they have to vote.
And
They
or
have to
organize with
organize.
others.
If they do not do that, they don't have a base to work from.
And they're isolating their own humanity.
Yes. Does that make sense to you, my brother?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll address this topic again.
Yes, I hope we will.
Important.
Now, in the meanwhile,
That's that time.
it is that time, and we must wish you peace.
Peace, y'all.
And that stands for proper education. Always corrects error. Peace.
Oh, you made it to the end of the video. Well, I am tired a little bit differently. I'm dressed as Baba Amwa. If you would like more of your own understanding, like, share, and subscribe.
Yes.
And go to the sites that we have listed around us. The Most High is good.
And the ancestors are kind.
Thanks
for having us on your minds.
Peace.